Okay, folks. Woo! I'm taking off. Did I scare you? I'm taking off right now. It's 3:23 California time. I hope I don't hit the traffic on the way to San Simeon. But I couldn't get out before now. Had to make sure all the things on the list were checked off. All right, off we go.
Take some coffee and some bagels and get out of here to where the weather is clear. It will be good for my lumbago to get out of here to where the weather is clear.
Can you imagine William Randolph Hearst driving this windy road up to the castle?
If you look at it that way, you can see the top of the boat.
As we met our personal tour guide for the grand tour, we were informed that the script, as it were, was loose, impromptu, and we were invited to ask any question. Fun. Our guide said that the castle and its setting had been compared to Mount Olympus, and that immediately resonated with me. Of course, Mount Olympus, especially today, above the clouds below. There are 3 gorgeous guest casas. This is Casa del Sol, facing the sun. The other 2 are Casa del Mar, sea, and Casa del Monte, mountains. The Neptune pool, the outdoor pool, there's an indoor pool as well, is spectacular. Can you just imagine Clark Gable and Carol Lombard lounging around this pool? One of Hearst's favorite grandchildren, Bunky as he was called, was apparently changed forever at about age 13-14 when he got up early, yawning, and wandered down to the pool to an eyeful of Rita Hayworth skinny dipping. Changed indeed. The architect of the castle was Julia Morgan, the first woman to be given an architect's license in California. She and Hearst worked closely together for about 28 years, and she was really great at rolling with it when Hearst would often change his mind. Casa del Monte is the smallest of the guest houses. Churchill once stayed here. Hearst loved Hollywood and glamorous movie stars, but he also invited politicians and people of interest, such as playwright George Bernard Shaw and aviation adventurers Charles Lindbergh and Amelia Earhart. You may have heard of Patty Hearst, the granddaughter of William Randolph Hearst. She was kidnapped in 1974. This was after the elder Hearst had already passed away. Taken by the radical group, the Symbionese Liberation Army, for 19 months, it appeared that she willingly participated in crimes perpetrated by the group, and it was unclear to the authorities whether she had been coerced or had gone along willingly. And so she was sentenced to a 7-year sentence for her participation until she was pardoned after year 2 by President Jimmy Carter. The Hearst family often stayed in this guest house when construction would be going on in the main house. On this terrace right here, I was again strongly struck with the Mount Olympus comparison. We're on a Greek-inspired mountain looking down at the clouds below. Yes, these are real Egyptian statues of the goddess Sekhmet. The oldest of these pieces is from the 18th dynasty, around 1550 to 1295 BC. The front of the main house looks like a cathedral, beautifully ornate. And now we're going inside. All right, I can't wait. Let's go. This great room was for socializing in the evenings. Hearst entertained with movie star Marion Davies, who was his longtime mistress and a very open secret. Hearst's wife stayed in New York City after about 1926, and Davies stayed here at the castle. Does this fireplace seem familiar to you? There may be a famous movie that possibly modeled its fireplace after this one. The grand dining room could seat quite a few guests, as you can see. If you were highly in favor, you were seated close to Hearst. Marion Davies, who was a very skilled hostess, was the one who arranged the seating for dinner. Some of the stars who stayed at the castle, besides the one I've already mentioned, are Gary Cooper, Joan Crawford, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Errol Flynn, Greta Garbo, Cary Grant, Buster Keaton, Harpo Marx, and Barbara Stanwyck, to name some. Guests would often play billiards after dinner or see a movie in the screening room. During this tour, you do get to see some silent footage of family and famous guests in the massive movie theater room. There are films of the playful Charlie Chaplin enjoying tennis on this very court.
Wow.
So there's quite an echo.
The tour guide said that the architect, Julia Morgan, had warned Hearst about a possible roof leak if the roof was flat, but he wanted a certain look, and the roof does leak. I did the grand tour at Hearst Castle. I think that's a good tour, good general tour to take if you've never done any. I think my tour was unusually small. She seemed surprised at the small amount of people. I took it at 9:20, and she said sometimes it can be 55 people in a tour, so I felt lucky that there was only about 8 of us. So we really got to ask a lot of questions, and it was really fun. I highly recommend this, and definitely see the movie afterwards or before, because it's very well produced. All right, hope you had fun today. I will see you next time. By the way, very quickly, if you like the show, consider Buy Me a Coffee to help support the show. Buy Me a Coffee is a great way for creators and artists to accept one-time support or membership ongoing from their fans for the price of a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/BrainFire to help the show. Thank you.
I wanna buy a Winnebago and get out of here to where the weather is clear. We'll take some coffee and some bagels and get out of here to where the weather is clear.